just as a warning to both you and to the people at home, if the stream suddenly goes down, I'm having a thunderstorm right now.
I'm actually also having a thunderstorm.
So if either of us loses connection, well, if I lose connection or power or anything, the entire stream's going to go down. If Knuckles loses power or connection, then it's just going to be his audio that goes down, and he will probably
I guess
disconnect
we'll
from
need
the
to have
call.
a deputy host.
I
I'll let you guys fight over it.
I will deputy host just because I'm ready to do so, and I am a firm hand at the wheel to push things forward.
Okay. I guess a firm hand is better than no hand.
I am also not waiting for a sandwich, so that helps as well.
Hello and welcome to episode 133 of the Sonic Talk podcast. I am your host, Knuckles87, and with me today are the usual people, Shigs and GX.
I resent the accusation that I am usual.
I'm sorry, GX, you are an extremely normal person.
That's the same thing. Dang it.
Yes,
You used a synonym.
You were objecting to be calling normal, saying I'm sorry, you are normal.
I am clearly above average, or at least non-average.
GX, if we want someone above average, we get some random from the Sonic community who spends their day screaming about Amy's characterization or something.
I said above average.
They're unusual.
I said above average.
Well, they're unusual, is my point, compared to the normal person. In any case, Chigs, also say hi.
Oh, it's not unusual to host a podcast.
I mean, statistically, it kind of is. But regardless, we're not here to talk about statistics. We're here to talk about blue hedgehogs and also video games. And blue hedgehogs that are in video games.
But we're going to start by not talking about blue hedgehogs in video games.
Yeah. So we're gonna start with what we've been playing. For me, what I've been playing is I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this correctly, but Kaze and the Wild Mask, which was a Switch game that was on my wish list for a couple of years. After I heard about it from like a YouTube video.
Game. Okay, so we're both Sonic adjacent fan whatever at the moment this week.
Well, this is more of a Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah, it is, but like I don't know, for some reason that game hit me in sort of the Sonic fan development extended universe type space. I don't know. Maybe I'm misled about that, but
the character design is very Sonic.
It is extremely.
But the game design is very Donkey Kong Country, and that is one reason. And that is the big reason it was on my list, because I like back when I was a child, like my loves were like Jackal, I guess, even though that was just like one NES game. But then also Sonic the Hedgehog and Donkey Kong Country, because my sister had a Super Nintendo.
You were okay. I did not realize that you were a Donkey Kong man yourself.
I've talked about it to you numerous times about how it's like one of my favorite old school Nintendo games, and how I like it more than Super Mario World.
I don't remember these conversations.
And like we've had disagreements because like you're all like, well, maybe DKC2 or whatever, but
that's true. That's true. I very much prefer the second and third ones to the first one. The first Donkey Kong Country is like Sonic 1. Like, it's fine. It'll get you through in a pinch, but it's not where the interesting stuff is.
My experience is mostly with the first two. But anyway, so Kaze is like sort of meant to like kind of follow up that game design, and it really does feel like it because it is a platformer that is pretty difficult. You like much like DKC, you can get yourself an extra bit of health uh by like getting yourself a companion, although unlike DKC, it's not a literal other character, it's just like this little thing that follows you around that like used to be your friend in the intro cutscene. And you just get from point A to point B. You collect you try to collect all the things in the levels to to like get these three crystals, and so like there's like each level will have like a couple of bonus areas and a couple of like things that are off the beaten path that encourage exploration for you to go after. And but beyond that, it's also a point A to point B. So like you collect Kaze's name, that's one thing, just like with Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Country. Um, but the and the bonus levels they're generally like they're in these crystals that you need to find and jump into, and then they'll like take you to these unique time challenges that you can retry as often as you want. It is a pretty forgiving game, all things considered.
That's
You know,
funny
there's no
because
lives or
Donkey
anything.
Kong Country is not.
Yeah, it is not, but it's not in the way that most games weren't back then. like and like Kaze, it's like it takes the best of those games, but doesn't give you a life system, so you don't have to worry about game overs or anything. Um, and so far, it is a very fun game. Like I bought it on sale for like a few dollars, uh, and it was worth every penny because I like legit just sat down and played a whole big chunk of that game before I eventually got distracted by something else. And it is definitely a game I want to go back to because it definitely scratches that Donkey Kong itch without some of the downsides of games from that era.
I mean,
Like
you
and
picked a
even
heck of a time to start it if you're looking to scratch the Donkey Kong itch.
Yeah, and I admit, like, if we had gotten like DK64, I might not have picked it up, but we have not gotten that on SO yet, so I've just been playing other
No,
things.
I was.
Um, what?
Yeah. Never mind. Never
But like
mind.
this was a game that that like I picked up on my Switch 2 for on sale alongside another game that I'm not going to get into right now called No Straight Roads. That's another game that was on my list for years. And like basically ever since I got the Switch 2, I've had this really strong inclination to just go back and play Switch games that I either skipped over or have been wanting to play. And another one of
It's
those
kind of how
games,
it's been with ever since Switch 2 came out.
yeah,
It would be
and I
nice if
do
it had more
appreciate that.
games, but I
I mean,
suppose we're
I have
approaching.
plenty of
Yeah,
backlog on my
it
Switch
makes you
One.
wanna check out your back catalog and go, ooh, I wonder if there's been improvements in this and or in this.
And like Case, I'm still pretty early on in it. I think I only just got to the second world. Like like I got to meet this like little this big bird flying a blimp, and I guess she's gonna take me to the other worlds. And so I've gone to the snow world and stuff. And in addition to like the DKC and Sonic vibes, there's also at least a little bit of Astal in it in terms of its like fantasy vibes, and the visuals really remind me of like 2D games from from my DSiWare specifically.
How much bird
Um,
abuse is there?
uh, None.
Then yeah, I
Like,
don't know if you could really call it a stall like then.
um, but well, I said like it has some like Acel vibes. It's mostly like in its music and atmosphere. Um,
Uh,
but and you mostly just fight these giant vegetables, which kind of look like they were taken out of a decent mobile game from the early 2010s. But you know, they're still fun enemy designs. And one other thing is like you know how Donkey Kong Country has animal buddies. Well, this game has the titular Wild Mask, which grant you these various abilities that that completely change how your character plays, and the rest of the levels that they appear in are kind of built around that. So like, there's a mask that lets you swim really easily, kind of like Unguard from Donkey Kong Country. You've got a mask that turns you into a bird, and then there's a mask that turns you into a tiger, and you can use it to like climb up walls and stuff and dash forward. It's like more of a platforming and attack type mask, I guess. And there's more presumably, but they do add a nice bit of variety to the game. But so moving on, but like the big game that I spent a long time playing, that's been in my backlog for a while, was the final game in the Crash N-Sane trilogy, Crash Warped. And I made the mistake of deciding that I wanted to get the actual ending of this game.
Why would you do that in a Crash game?
Because I'm a Sonic fan, and in Sonic games, when you want to get like the final boss and the final ending, you have to collect all of the things the game wants you to collect.
Crash Bandicoot is just absolutely mean-spirited. Like, fundamentally malicious.
Are you trying to just get to the ending, or get all the, crates and everything?
I wanted to get to the true ending cutscene, which like is good in the sense that does lead directly into Crash 4, which is one reason why I really wanted to beat this game. But like, I kind of figured there'd be a little more to the ending than just a new cutscene, which jokes on me, I guess. But okay, so like Crash 3 Warped, even when you're not trying to 100%, it really is just kind of a mean game. Like, I'm gonna be honest.
They all are.
These games have not aged particularly well.
They've not aged well in a lot of ways.
Like I'm talking, like, I'm a retro gamer. I've played lots of old games. Plenty of them hold up. This one does. These games do not. They are just, the difficulty is way too high. Like the controls are not as precise as they need to be, and the difficulty is insane.
It's not even that the difficulty is high. It's also that the way those games are structured are absolute unremitting completionism. Like,
yes,
it demands.
I did not know that to get the ending, you had to get basically everything. And what's even more frustrating is that I had a lot of trouble finding a guide for what exactly I needed, but what I did manage to find was a numerical number of crystals and relics that I needed, not realizing that if you get the relics from the bonus levels or from the new level that they added, none of those count towards getting the ending. So I spent like hours on content I did not need to touch. Although Future Tense was kind of a pretty fun level, if I'm being honest, and setting difficulty aside. Like, man, I had no idea. So like, I had like multiple false starts of thinking I'm done, and I didn't have to do those levels I really hate. Thankfully, I did not have to like get the relic on Hot Cocoa, which is the worst level I have ever experienced in a major game, and I am including Sonic in this, because Hot Cocoa is a level where like it's just like a borderline open water ski level with bombs everywhere, and
it's an Emerald challenge from Sonic Rush Adventure.
It's worse than that. It's way worse than that. Because like you have to hit all of the crates if you want the relic from that. But all of the crates are nestled between bombs, and you don't have the controls to effectively get the crates without hitting the bombs. So, like, thankfully, I didn't actually need to do that, because that's probably where I would have rage quitted. But regardless, like, it was kind of fun really getting to the weeds of a game. Because as I rarely ever 100% anything, but I basically did that for this. And so I really had to like master every single level. I had to like figure out every single weird, stupid thing, how to get like all these extra crystals and stuff and the back doors for levels. I ended up using guides for a few things because some of that stuff was just not communicated in the game. um,
The problem is I'm listening to you discuss this, and it's happening within the context of like, well, I'm gonna do a bunch of retro achievements and get all the complete set masters in hardcore mode, and like I'm in the middle of a Super Mario World run where I've gotten all the coins. I've played every level as Small Mario without getting hit. Did a deathless 11 exit run. It's like
Crash Crash requires like certain deathless runs to get some of the crystals.
that's yeah, but and that's kind of what I'm a little incensed about, is because I'm doing that because it's a weird fan hack challenge layer that I'm going through. For Crash, that's just the game that they designed.
And what's really crazy is, you know what? Okay, so Crash has these very linear levels where the camera is like stuck right behind you.
Yeah.
And yet, there are levels where you need to backtrack.
Yep.
And I had to
Yep.
I had to look this stuff up on YouTube because I'm like, there's no way that's how they expect me to do this.
They
There's
do.
no way.
They absolutely do.
But no, I had to backtrack through levels that are simply not built for backtracking, where the camera is just facing the wrong way. And oh my god, and like, and because of course I'm playing the N-Sane Trilogy, I have no save states or anything. I probably like, but I probably would have like rage quit this if it was just a little more hard. But I did it. I got through it, and I have the skills to to almost 100% a Crash Bandicoot game. Um, I'm never doing that thing where you have to get like gold or platinum relics on every single level. Like, I'm gonna screw that. But you know, I still went much further than I normally do for any game, and so I can categorically say that like Crash 3 Warped, I can see why it was so popular back in the day, but it is not a game that has aged especially well now. And I'm very glad that we have Crash 4, which is the reason why I did this. I got that on sale. It is a much better game. It is excellent. I've only gone through the first few worlds. I'm not going to get into it right now, but like, you know, that I highly recommend it because it is just a beautiful modernization of the Crash formula.
I've actually beaten that one, and if it wasn't for unlimited lives, there's no way in hell I would have been
Oh
able
yeah,
to,
certainly, but
because
unlimited lives is what makes that game doable, you know?
oh yeah, it took me
Like
forever to
I
do
on
it,
some of
but
those
I
levels I
got
have
it
like,
done, you know?
and like it scratches that itch in the sense that like, hey, if there's this really hard thing, but you really don't need to do, but you can do, I can just freely go at it again, and rack up like 40 deaths on it, and you know that's fine.
Yep.
Anyway, though, so remaining in the era of 3D platformers that haven't aged well, but
Aw.
probably is still better than Crash Warped.
Aw.
Yeah, I'm sorry, GX Banjo-Kazooie.
Well,
um,
mean, let's be let's be clear here.
yo,
Both of these games delve pretty deeply into we'll say
Like the songs.
indigenous folklore for the sake of making big cartoony jokes about them in a way that is not kosher today.
yeah, sure. There's Mumbo Wamba or something. I forget her name. I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
I've only played a little bit of Banjo-Tooie so far, but anyway, but Banjo-Kazooie. Um, so I have been very open on here about not being a huge fan of collectathons, like especially like the N64 era Rareware collectathons. I prefer a nice A to D platformer,
Then
and
why did you play
Banjo
Banjo-Kazooie?
because it's there, it's on NSO, and it's like, hey, if I'm ever going to like figure out why people love these games, it's going to be on NSO with the rewind button. And if I'm being honest, like I can definitely see why this was so beloved back in 1998 because it is a big 3D adventure with like these pretty involved worlds, but like
Well,
it does
one
have a
of the
lot of rough edges.
oh, it absolutely does. But one of the big changes that it brought to this genre, which was like a genre that was, we'll say very prolific on the Nintendo 64 specifically. Its thing that it brought to the table was, unlike Mario 64, its probably most direct predecessor, Banjo-Kazooie did not throw you out of the level whenever you completed it. It was just contiguous, and
But
you
it
could
does throw you
continue.
out of the level whenever you die,
It does, which
which would be a massive pain in the ass if not for the fact that I have a rewind button.
okay.
I hated I would have hated that because it's like every single time you get thrown out of the level, you lose all of your notes. And notes are a thing that you need to progress. And so it's like you need when you go back into the level, you then need to recollect all of the notes everywhere, plus all of the Jinjos if you didn't successfully grab all of those before dying. And given how many times I died in this game, like I don't think I would have beaten this with on normal hardware, if I'm being completely honest. Um, my biggest issue with this game is just that Banjo's controls are kind of slippery, and that
Oh yeah.
really surprised me. Like the dude has no traction. And so it's like when you're trying to like platform on these tiny leaves on the side of a gigantic tree, it is extremely easy to like do a backflip jump onto the leaf and then have a little too much momentum and then get slide right off. And like his slipperiness is like frankly a constant issue throughout like the last 2/3 of the game. It is just incredibly annoying. Like it would get to a point where I would try to just like use Kazooie when I could because she
Oh
tends
yeah.
to have better traction and speed.
Very much
But like
so.
that's still not great for a lot of platforming challenges because you need Banjo's height for that. Um, and so like that combined with the inability to aim the egg attacks like made controlling aspects of this game very frustrating in a way that I was kind of not expecting for an N64 game built for like an analog stick. Like
I think my retort to that is it's an N64 game. Like I
well the thing is Banjo-Tooie has significantly better
oh,
controls.
it does. Yeah, Banjo-Tooie is 100% a refinement of the systems. It's just that like this was still pretty early for the N64. The N64 kind of had a format, and everyone was trying to, wrap their head around this is how you get around 3D. Like Banjo-Kazooie's rather impressive for when it came out because there weren't a whole lot of
Oh, I'm
games that were
sure.
like it. And yeah, everything you're saying about it is correct. It
But
has
like
that
like
N64 jank. It's just
the Banjo's lack of traction doesn't really, feels like a very distinct design decision now. And when you combine that with how small a lot of the platforms are, it's just like it feels like they didn't take that stuff into account when they were designing the
the,
game, which kind of surprised me.
it plays into kind of how I feel these days about Mario 64, which is to say, Mario 64 is a landmark game that is fantastic, but Mario's turn radius in it is absolutely ridiculous. Like, it's
Yeah,
hard to do any
that
sort of
is
precision
like
movement with him.
Mario 64 is another game where like I beat that on the DS. That was largely because hey, 3D platformer on it, portable. So much. What's the word? So gimmick. I like this gimmick or whatever. You know, like it was unique for its time. But like when I tried playing on the N64, I just could not get into it, and that has kind of remained the case.
Mm.
Although ultimately, my big just putting aside the controls, which part of my issue with the controls was not the fault of the game. That's mostly just like the C stick stuff. Like, um, the camera also was not smooth, by the way. But
Oh no, it like so.
another thing, I'm very glad that Banjo-Tooie corrected.
I'm curious. Did you own an N64 at time of its actual lifespan?
I got an N64 in 2002, so no.
Okay,
No, I had
it's
it.
go ahead.
I can say I had it pretty much at launch.
Yeah, I got mine late, but it is the kind of thing where like you're describing it, and my reaction to that is more or less like, yeah, it sounds like N64 jank. Like,
Yeah,
and I don't mean to
but like
dismiss it fully, but
to be clear, like I've been talking about N64 games not aging well because like that's just the nature of early games in a genre for years.
let's
But like
early.
this has
Mario
kind of been confirming
64.
a lot of my feelings towards that.
It's not just
Um,
early games in a genre. It's early literal early 3D game
I'm
design.
talking about early 3D platformers here.
Yeah,
I was just my kind of my shorthand way of saying that.
but
Um,
early
Yeah.
3D design in general, like this was the first major steps into how to design console games for 3D graphics, for like actual
but
3D graphics.
I will say that the that like probably my aside from all that, my biggest issue with this game is that the mission design can also just be very unclear. Like uh, again, I use the guide heavily for this because the game gives you no indication when like a window or door can be broken and how it can be broken. Like here I am, I'm like, okay, can I break this door? I try these different moves, none of them work, and then it's like, oh, it's this other move that I didn't try for some reason, or it's eggs that break it or something. And it's like the game just does a very poor job communicating that. And which kind of like I now understand why whenever I pick a banjo game up, like in a store, like when the demo was running, I was always just so totally lost. I had no idea what to do because it's like the game just doesn't communicate a lot of these things to you. Um, and again, this is thankfully something Mario that Tui again corrects for. So like I do plan on playing Tui because that might kind of be my gateway into this kind of game. Um, but all that said, all that complaining
Do
about
you
mission structuring stuff,
do you
I
have
will say,
Rare
yeah,
Replay?
I do, yes,
I would be
but
curious what you think of the third one, the 361. I forget what it's called.
I have played with
Nuts
that
and
one a bit.
bolts.
Nuts and bolts. Thank you.
The fact that nuts and bolts is like mostly based on vehicles is kind of a turnoff for me.
Okay, I wasn't sure if that
Yeah, it's a very, very different game.
it is. I was just
But
curious because like it still has some aspects of the 3D platforming stuff that it was doing. It's just really recontextualized.
all that said, like the Jinjos and the notes were generally not hard to get. Like I did not have to use a guide to get like 95% of the notes that I got. I only had to use a guide for a couple of Jinjos. By and large, like all this stuff was laid out in a way that you'll just see it if you just explore the level thoroughly, which I did. And on top of that, like there is some really clever level design in this. Like the final level in the game which I actually did after I did Grunty's board game thing. Was it's this game that takes place across 4 different seasons, and it's technically just like in game. It's just like 4 separate areas that you can enter, and as you do something in one area, it will affect things in the other areas. And basically, like a year passes over the course throughout this world as you are like doing different things, and it was just kind of a clever way of just using your own intuitive knowledge of the seasons and combining that with like certain missions and stuff to I'm starting to lose my train of thought here. Let me just wrap this up. Like, I was happy that it was neat that like this level had these different missions take place across different times of the year, and like different payoffs and stuff as you move through it. Kind of culminating with this bird that you raised throughout the 4 seasons, growing up into a big bird and giving you a jitty. Like that stuff like that was pretty cool. So it was like very creative game, and built a lot on what Mario 64 did. Although that Grunty boss battle was kind of extremely cheap, especially towards the end. Ugh. Anyway, that's what I've been playing.
Cool. I suppose I'll be real quick with my stuff. Aside from doing retro achievements, which, hey, I got a full complete set for Donkey Kong Country 2 over 60 hours, and am approaching the end of Super Mario World once I finally just break down and fully go through all of the special and star worlds to get all the coins and do the other nonsense. I have been playing Freedom Planet on stream for the website over the last 2 weeks.
Game I need to go back to.
Well, that's actually how I started. So I played a little bit of Freedom Planet closer to launch years and years and years ago, back whenever it was on Wii U. Basically got several levels in, played as the green cat character Carol, and was absolutely infatuated with the fact that she has a motorcycle, and you do your platforming on the motorcycle, including things like climb ladders and everything, and it was amazing. I loved it. The gimmick of it, sure, but, I kind of ran out of steam part way through whenever I got to a boss fight that was getting really tough, and I'm guessing another game came out at the time around there that was like, well, I'm going to play something else for now. And it just kind of fell off my rotation. This time I have started a run on stream as Lilac, the purple dragon girl, and have just kind of made my way through. I think I'm like 2/3 of the way through her playthrough, but it's hard to tell because the levels in this game are really long. It's not unusual for me to spend about 20 minutes in a level just trying to find things or do things or see what it has. It's neat. I like it. It is not Sonic Mania. Like, there are a lot of ways in which it uses a lot of the language of Sonic, but it is distinctly not a Sonic game. It's somewhere between What If Treasure made a Sonic-style game.
Yeah, I do get some Treasure vibes from that.
It is incredibly Treasure. Like, right down to the fact that, like, hey, sometimes enemies are just made of weird multiple component sprites that rotate and move around like something is made of orbs. Like, that is a super, super Treasure thing to do. And it has big elaborate boss fights, which is extremely treasure. But by and large, like I'm kind of in the position of like I like it, but I don't know if I love it yet. I think part of it is just because it can drag a bit with as long as its levels are. I kind of wish that rather than having like these big lengthy levels that span multiple screens, that it would kind of just be willing to cut off and say, okay, this is part 2 now. This is part 3 of this world. That way, it just, for the sake of being able to have a breather or a more firm stopping point, I would like something a little bit more, just a little bit more segmented. The biggest difference between it and like a Sonic style game is combat is pretty significant in this game. It's not big, complex, or intense combat, but you don't just have an automatic attack anytime you jump in the way that Sonic would. You have a dedicated like punch, kick, like a button that does attacks, that can do a variety of different attacks based on whether you're in the air, whether you're ducking, whether you're holding up, and you're using that to take out enemies as you go through. And primarily like bosses. The flow of the combat can be pretty solid. I find that it can be weird with enemies actually taking hits. Let me rephrase that. It can be weird whenever the game tries to figure out damage that you yourself are taking. I found in a lot of cases, and this might just be Sonic brain talking, but I found that I would lose a lot of life in my health bar a lot faster than I was expecting, taking hits a lot more frequently than I'm expecting, because I'm trying to tackle this as if it were a Sonic game, and I'm being just a smidge too aggressive and putting myself out there into danger's way a little bit too often. But it is really built around, okay, you need to get your attacks in, and you need to figure out how to not be in an enemy attack, which seems silly to phrase it that way, but when I say that, I specifically mean like, no, there are situations where you cannot get hit because you're going to take a lot fewer hits than you think you will before you actually, die. You do have lives. I'm not sure why, but they haven't felt like they're too restrictive yet. I feel like I can still maintain pace, and it usually gives me enough tries to learn what the boss patterns are. The patterns are a lot faster and more complex than a given Sonic boss, and you are going to have to kind of react quickly and figure out where your openings are. They're not always as obvious. Not that the enemy can't take damage, but situations where I can cause damage without getting hurt myself is the type of logic that you need to think about. World building and story, I guess I'll just talk about a little bit. It's someone someone really wanted to build a world for this, but did not necessarily have a great story to tell in it, let's say. Because a lot of what the early game is learning about or having referenced to you the many, many factions of this world, just with proper nouns. Like, oh, there's there's 3 kingdoms. There's a kingdom like this, and a kingdom like this, and in this kingdom, and there's also space aliens, but there's the bad space aliens, but there's also the group of good space aliens. And then you get this realization late in the thing where it's like, oh, but your characters are part of this faction, which means they have a bad reputation. And it feels a little bit overwrought for the way that it's being dished out. Someone in chat had said that it feels a bit fan fiction-y, and I'm hesitant to give it that.
I don't think it's like that necessarily. But...
Yeah, I'm a little hesitant to give it that moniker. It just feels like it feels a little too young adult novel. Like, not necessarily the best young adult novel series that you've read, but like one of the ones that's like, I guess this is in front of me. I'm borrowing it from a friend. I could at least read it, and it's just, I was like, it has fantasy stuff. It has strong Asian inspired aesthetics. It has a story that you can mostly follow, even if you don't know all of the proper nouns that are involved. But generally speaking, and I think above all else, like, all of the characters are really, really anime trope. Like, extreme, like, the joke I have made multiple times on the stream is, I think that this designer has seen an anime before, at least one. Because all of these characters fit very much into anime tropes, and like the place I would pin it is, this game feels like it was written by someone who was a very active user on anime-focused message boards in, like, the mid-2000s. That's the kind of character dialogue that you get out of this. And I'm not going to say that's a bad thing, but I am going to say it doesn't always work for me. But
if I'm going to be honest, I think it was fine for what it was.
Yeah,
from what I've seen.
That's kind of it. Like, it's fine for what... I feel like I'm giving it more attention than it really deserves. Like, as a rapper, for what it's doing, it feels like it just has too much story. But it's not offensive. Like, it's not bad. It's just... It's a lot of... There's too much of it for how much that I don't really care about what these characters are going through. I guess I would put it. It's like, I haven't been convinced to really care about the characters and the world and the plight, and it asks you to sit through a lot of cutscene for them. Like, someone had a lot of personal investment into building this with a lot of story involved, and it just feels weird and bad that I'm sitting through it and thinking, like, this is just, like, maybe okay. I kind of wish, for as much as it's there, that this was written with a little bit more nuance, and that everyone wasn't, like I said, from a late 90s anime through the lens of a person in the mid 2000s watching a late 90s anime. But it's fun. It's fun. The level designs are interesting. There are things to discover in them, which is what I really enjoy doing. The levels themselves can be rather diverse in what they ask you to do and what core gimmicks are and things like that. The combat can be fast and satisfying, except for when it's not. And the bosses get kind of crazy, which, is fun. It's a neat game. I absolutely like it enough that I want to see it through to the end this time, but I don't necessarily know if I have back-to-back playthroughs with the different characters for it. It's the kind of thing where, like, I'm going to get through one playthrough, and I'm definitely going to have to take a break after that because of just how shockingly long it is for the type of game it is. I feel like I should have seen an ending and have been on the second character by now. But
Hmm.
but you know, like,
I do remember being a little surprised with how long it was.
yeah, like I said, maybe it's just my playstyle, because you keep in mind, you and I have very different playstyles. I'm here to look through all the nooks and crannies and find all the cool secret stuff. And you tend to be, well, what if I push forward because the game will give me a number at the end, and then I can compare that number to another number.
Yeah, I like getting from point A to point B.
Yeah. Shigs.
Hey, so I've been playing more Pokemon Scarlet. I know you wanted me to talk more about it once I got a few more hours in. I only got like a few more hours in. I think I'm only 6 to 10 hours in. I got a gym badge, and I beat one of the Star gang members, and now I'm on the second gym badge. I am enjoying myself quite a bit now. It's getting better. It still feels like, for a Switch game, it feels like a PS2 game as far as, texture and everything. It's really, down there.
Yeah,
But
even without the technical performance, that game still had like weird design limitations. Like, you can really see the texture repeating.
yeah. Oh yeah, the mountainside where the Team Star gang first is, that it repeats the same pattern on the mountain over and over like wallpaper. It's like, oh my god, how long was this in development?
The
How
tiling
far back?
is not ideal.
No, it is not.
Keep in mind,
But
this is the second open world Pokemon game that they released that year.
yeah, what was the first one?
Pokemon Legends Arceus.
Legends.
They released
Arceus was so much better.
yeah, it also started earlier and wasn't the second one that they released in the same year.
And what's funny is they could have just like delayed that to like, November, and then just had Scarlet take another year.
Yeah, well,
Well,
I haven't really been
the Pokemon
that
brand is
into
designed.
a regular Pokemon game in a long while outside of Arceus, and I am enjoying the collecting aspect of it. My choice of how I collect Pokemon is one, if I can have a range of different types, like rock type, water type, fire, and plus if they're like cute little doggos or whatever, and I just like their design and
I
decide to
picked the
keep
cool
them
looking ones.
in my list. Yeah. Um, but yeah, like I was mentioning before the show, it is kind of awkward. I did go into a cave at level 20 where I was fighting like a level 39 uh Pokemon, and I only managed to get one because it was this sumo one that was it's called Hayata, I think, and it was hurting itself as it was trying to attack me. And I can use him sometimes, but because I'm at such a low level than the Pokemon, my other Pokemon are low level than him, and I don't have the right badges. He still doesn't obey too well. But I do like some quality of life stuff in here, like being able to use a Pokemon to drive and swim around. The fact when you go to the healer and you're not sure where to go next, you can ask her, and she'll point you on the right path. The story is just so bare bones, and it's so ridiculous that they have this college where, like, on the first day, like, screw math, you're just gonna go hunt wild animals for
yeah,
the rest of your time.
you came in just in time to have massive field day completed. Just
Yeah, really.
open studies.
Anyway, so it's going well. I'm still playing it. It's a good one to play if you want for a chill game. If you just want to, if like I'm watching something on TV, but I'm not too into it to where I can listen to it and play this, it's a good chill game for that. Kind of like with Lego Fortnite for me also is a good chill game like that. The other game I got to sample is Donkey Kong Bonanza. They had it at a local Walmart on their kiosk. For some reason, the Target I work at, we have a Switch 2 kiosk, and it has yet to update with that demo. It's still just Mario Kart World. It's pretty fantastic so far. I've been they only give you 2 levels in 15 minutes, and they cut down some of the cutscenes to get to the main deal, and just the visceralness of just punching everything and punching the wall to make your own tunnels and destroying the environment is absolutely fun. I enjoy that. I enjoy the visceralness of it. You do get to try out one of the Bonanza powers. You get to be the big Kong power, and he's just basically like Donkey Kong, some much more powerful, and can smash through items that Donkey Kong can't. And that's quite a bit of fun. The one thing that's a little off, but I can understand why they did it, is the jump button is on the A button instead of the B button this time, like it was with Super, Mario Odyssey. And the reason for that is there's 4 different directions to, smash. There's if you press Y, you're smashing forward. If you're pressing X, you're smashing upward, and if you're pressing B, you're smashing downward. And so it gives you that kind of direction. So, I mean, also they do have, from what I understand, I saw some information. They do have the option to switch buttons. I think Nintendo today mentioned that.
Yeah, that
So
you
if you're
can
not
remap
comfortable
buttons at
doing
a
that,
you can remap buttons at least a system level. But does it feel like were you ever in a situation where it felt like you needed a degree of precision between going from A to X? Like
not
from
necessarily. I mean, there's banana gems that are hidden that later on you get a sonar for that you can smash through. You can get lost a little bit, but not for very long if you if you're just smashing through enough, concrete. You can get back up. That's like I said, they have the option to smash up, which allows you to get further up, kind of in a climbing kind of sense. It does have that Mario Odyssey feel where basically the banana gems are moons, and the enemies like the are basically the replacement of the little bunny enemies from Super Mario Odyssey this time. But just before I finished the demo, I did get to fight a little mini boss, and there's this explosive rock stuff you can rip from the ground and toss at him with the precision movement on that, and that was a lot of fun. I think I would have had more time with it, but I got to right at the end level on the second level, and I think that's what kicked in. Okay, demo's over. But yeah, I was having a fair bit of fun with it, and I absolutely can't wait to try it out late tonight, because as this recording at 7:16, I'm on the West Coast. It'll be available at 9 p.m. tonight, and GameStop kind of screwed up my pre-order, so I'm just gonna get it digitally. But yeah, so far so good, and I can't wait to talk about it
We'll
more
definitely be
next
talking
week.
about it next time.
Oh yeah, IGN gave it a 10 out of 10, so that's really got me hyped for it.
Yes, better than Mario Odyssey.
eh.
Like, I think they literally said that. Someone did.
I don't see how, because I loved Mario Odyssey.
I could definitely see some improvements.
Let's not okay. Let's not use review numbers to indicate which games are better than which other games.
Well, no, that
Yeah,
is
I mean, you
why
gotta judge
I
that for
said I
yourself.
was quoting the review, not the number.
Yeah, I think the same one who reviewed Odyssey reviewed this. Anyway, that's it for me.
All right, so moving on to the Sonic part of our Sonic talk.
Why would we talk about Sonic?
Because he has a new racing game coming out that's going to have SpongeBob in it.
Okay. Oh, SpongeBob, you say? Now I'm interested.
Yes. So SEGA has been slowly unveiling more and more of the game recently, they unveiled the Sonic Racing CrossWorlds intro music, along with the opening animation, which looks neat. Mostly in-game, in-engine footage, which I don't know. I guess that's kind of standard for Sega these days. But I'm probably one of the few people who thinks the music is like just fine.
I also think the music is just fine. Like I have heard people have very strong opinions about like the lyrics or the
The
performance.
lyrics are as bad as Sonic Heroes,
The
in the
lyrics
sense
are
that,
as
yeah,
bad
Yeah,
as
I
all
would
of these
put it that
songs.
way.
As all of the
like
if you're gonna
the
sit here,
complaint they make is they say the
Sounds
game's
like it's a bit
name.
off key.
They mentioned getting rings, and it's like Sonic Heroes, like the most memorable part of that goddamn song. The earworm is when they guess Sonic Hero.
if you
Sonic
if you like
Hero.
All Hail Shadow, then you have no ground to stand on. If you
Like,
like
I'm
Green
gonna be
Light
honest.
Ride, you have no leg to stand on.
Shut up. Green Light Ride is awesome.
Green Light right in this thing.
Green Light Ride is equally as dumb in its lyrics. Like, no.
Sure. Most Sonic songs have dumb lyrics.
Yes.
I don't care about lyrics. Like, I just want
No,
the
you
song
want lyrics to
sound good.
exist. You just don't care what they are.
Yeah, exactly. Like that literally plays into how I will remember a song's lyrics, where I will just remember the melody and then the vagueness and the vagueness in which I remember like what they're actually saying. But like Sonic Heroes, I legit dislike because like for one, like just yelling Sonic Heroes, like that does not get me going in any way. I don't care for the melody. I don't
Knuckles
care for
is
like
not
how
turned
they're
on
singing.
by Sonic Heroes.
You know what I mean, god damn it.
It does not get him going.
But like, yeah, like, but this is like the better version of that. But my god, it's not like Sonic lyrics
I
have
don't think
not
so.
done this before. They've not said like the game's name before. That's not unusual. And I seem to be one of the only people who genuinely dislikes the Sonic Heroes theme, so I don't know why y'all are complaining. Like, it's fine. It's fine.
I feel about equally between Sonic Heroes as I do this, as I do Endless Possibilities, as I do
Again,
literally
shut up.
anything from any Crush 40 song, like any of
Endless
them.
Possibilities is better. What I'm Made Of is better. You
No,
keep quiet.
Well, I love what
it's
I'm made of, but Endless Possibility sucks.
It's
Hey,
all the same.
you shut up too. Bowling for Soup is awesome. And that's a good song.
It's all the same pop punk slurry. Like it's all part of the same cloth. It's all the same material. It's just slightly different flavors of it.
Yes, and aside from Sonic Heroes, it's all very enjoyable. Anyway, so we also got our first tie-in with Sega accounts from a Sonic game, which I have been waiting for this. Like I kind of thought we would have already gotten it. I was just thinking about this like yesterday. It's like, man, I wonder what they're going to give us for the Sega accounts.
When are they
finally unveiled it?
When are they gonna use my personal data?
Give me some paltry DLC.
And it is not what I was hoping for, but it's probably what I should have been expecting, given what they normally give away with newsletters. It is they're giving away the Blue Star Extreme Gear, and that, along with the Werehog, made their footage debut in today's trailer, which was mostly about what's the word, Sonic, the customization of the game, and it's like yeah, like. Werehog looks neat. The Blue Star Extreme Gear again looks neat. I'm happy to see it in the game because, like, in terms of like Sonic racing stuff, it's kind of about as iconic as it comes. Which is to say, not very, but you know, as a Sonic fan, I did want it to be in there.
As a Sonic fan, I don't care about what it is as long as it's a reference to something else that exists.
I like its design. I like it, and I like that the fact that that the thing that has that design is in the game. Jesus, GX.
Come on, you set me up for that.
Yeah, that's because you're mean. But it is nice that I do hope that this does indeed replace the newsletter thing altogether. Because if I can just like register for an account and just get
I
this
just
stuff,
don't want them to do promotions like this. Like it, I won't argue. Like it is probably some degree better than the newsletter aspect because you can at least maintain an account rather than having to continuously like. If you signed up for one newsletter, why would I sign up for another newsletter? You already have my information. You have not stopped sending me newsletters. Like,
yes,
what?
but need to like get us actively engaged in the game's marketing or something or whatever. I don't know, but I just hope that with this, when all I need to do is sign up for the account, and then I just get all the stuff. If that's all there is to it, then I will personally be happy with it. Now, personally, I was kind of hoping that this would be like how they facilitate IDW characters getting into the game, but I'll take the extreme gear, I guess. Like, I guess that was the budget they had for this. You know what would be funny is if they still did the newsletter promotion on top of this. Uh,
That would be dumb, but yeah.
that's why I said it would be funny.
Eh.
Um, so Shigs, do you care about this at all?
Well, not really. I mean, it's just the tiniest DLC thing. It's not like the
Yeah,
Werehog thing. I'm probably gonna pre-order the digital version on Xbox for the deluxe stuff. But
I
I
currently
mean,
don't know.
maybe I'll register, but it's not really a big thing.
Well, I'm definitely registering. Because I'm not going to turn down a free piece of DLC. But I'm definitely way more excited for the Werehog.
It sure is the Werehog. They put a face on that car and it's angry.
Yeah, the Werehog is very angry
The car
because
has
Sonic can feel
arms.
anger.
The car has arms for some
Yeah,
reason. And
little claws in the front.
yeah, it has Wolverine arms specifically.
So we got a lot of information on the Switch 2 version today. That just kind of came out of nowhere. It's like, oh, I guess I should check the newsletter I guess I should check my email for like a press release on this thing. And then it's like, oh, okay, so Switch 2 info today, and so thankfully, the Switch 2 owners are not going to have to wait too long to play a better looking version of the game. The digital version will be launching holiday 2025. So that like it will be like November or December. And if they buy the Switch One version because they don't want to wait, it will be just a $10 fee to upgrade, which is just the price difference between Switch One and Switch Two.
Which is what you would like. And unless you are extremely price sensitive to what this game costs, like that's what you would want. That's what you would
Yeah,
want out of it because you're not really losing anything, and if you're perfectly satisfied with performance and asset size on the original Switch, like you could have that savings, or you could have the higher resolution for it running natively.
like I currently do not know what my purchasing plan for this game is going to be because it is expensive, and I'm hoping that there will be like review copies.
My purchasing
But
plan is PC, same as always.
like if I don't have to get it on PS5 or Sonic Stadium, I might get it on Switch so that I can so that I can like cover the Switch portions of things. And also like I really do want to play this game on Switch 2. I think I like Switch and Switch 2 are where I have been playing my multiplayer games for a long time now, and like that's just where it's going to be more convenient for me in terms of local multiplayer. So this might be my first like Switch purchase of a Sonic game in a couple of years. So in addition to that, the digital version is November. The physical edition is coming sometime in early 2026, and it has been confirmed that will be on a 64 gigabyte cartridge, which is not surprising to me because this is a significantly more
Not a
expensive
game
game
card.
And not in
than
the
Sonic the Hedgehog
release.
generation.
And this version of the release will not be handled by a limited run, because otherwise it would be coming out in 2027.
Um,
Pretty much.
Limited Run will not be doing a Switch 2 version of the game. So, of course, if you still want to get it and you want to get it on Switch, I guess you can still take advantage of the $10 digital upgrade.
But it's not on the
You won't have that.
card. But
You
but
won't
they're
have it on a
doing
physical cartridge.
but they're doing but they're the game preservation people. Why aren't they helping me preserve my games?
Yeah, because that's not their actual business model.
Nope, it sure ain't.
But so one thing I did kind of discover about LRG recently is that if you buy the collector's edition, they will actually ship the game early. Like I think when the game comes out, and so you don't technically have to wait a year to play a game or double dip. um, that's something I got to discover.
Pay a lot more for stuff that you won't get for a while.
Yeah.
Oh, can you imagine the shipping costs though? Because I bet they put both shipping cost onto you.
Yes, that has to be the only reason why you wouldn't just have the game shipped early is because you want to pay less for shipping overall. Like I can't imagine any other reason why you would choose that. Of course, what they really should just do is just sell you the crap without the game. Just let you buy the game on your own. Just cut $50 off of the price or whatever. And sell you the crap.
They also do sell you the crap. Like they don't do it for like their big things, but it does help inflate the cost of those packs.
My personal strategy is to hope that when it comes to the Sonic SxSh Generations thing, which is the only one I kind of want, is to just hope it fails and hope it goes on a really good sale a couple years from now. Like those SEGA mini arcade machines.
My hope is to not want one or buy one.
So if you want the Switch 2 version, you won't have to wait too long. But if you want it on a cartridge, you will be waiting for a little while. Moving on. I'm very glad this has become just a part of Sega's promotion schedule for their games, for their Sonic games now, because it is really cool. They announced an animation for Sonic Racing CrossWorlds at Anime Expo, and it is extremely reminiscent of this semi-obscure anime movie from the late 2000s called Redline, which I bought that thing on a freaking Blu-ray back when it came out, so I am very familiar with that movie. And apparently, to me, the inspiration is very obvious just from the teaser. But that was apparently what one of the people leading the project specifically proposed was hey, make it Redline. And I'm very curious how far they'll be able to take it with their budget, because from what the little teaser we saw was pretty impressive to me, but of course it was also 15 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, it looks good. It's a teaser. It will probably be it's going to be a short.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to say other than that. It has Sonic and Shadow in their racing, and it will probably not be like the Team Sonic Racing animated short. It will probably be at least slightly different in tone or style.
Well, I'm expecting it'll be a little more serious, a little more anime. I expect it'll be way less plot centric, if only because It's just a racing
I mean, yeah,
animated short.
I suppose, I guess.
Well, less plot-centric than Sonic Shadow Generations, at least.
It's a teaser. I'm kind of not super inclined to analyze the teaser until we're gonna get it soon enough, so,
Well, like, I don't know, just the fact that they're at least inspired by Redline does make me hope that the animation's going to be neat. That's what I'm looking for. Because that was like the main thing about that movie, is just that the animation it was really good. Really, really delivered extensive speed well. Shigs, did you see the teaser?
I saw a little bit of it, yeah.
Okay.
It looks fine. I'm not going gaga over it or anything. It's just another, animation promotion.
So,
They've been doing
moving
these
on.
for quite a few years now.
Yeah,
Shigs and
I'm
I are
glad
just entirely jaded at this point.
how can you be changed? These have generally been entertaining.
Sure, but it's not in front of me yet. Whenever it's out, maybe I'll have an opinion.
But anyway, so moving on to Digital Circuit, they unveiled a new CrossWorld, along with its soundtrack, Digital Circuit from Shadow the Hedgehog. Probably like one of the only levels from that game where I generally like the aesthetic.
I mean,
like a very digital Tron-y
it
aesthetic.
should have been in Shadow Generations, if we're being
It should
honest.
have been like that was like at the like it was like if we couldn't like get Black Comet or something, that was like at the top of my list of other things that they should include.
Oh, this one's much more interesting than Black Comet.
Sure, but Black Comet just like has relevance to the plot and stuff.
Yeah,
so,
but I don't care if it has relevance to the plot. Digital
Uh,
Circuit is more entertaining.
And like it probably remains my favorite of the digital Sonic games, Sonic levels aesthetically. Although I'm not entirely sure how like much this is based off of that old Shadow the Hedgehog level, because it's been a long time since I've really played anything from those games. But I know that the music is apparently brand new, and this is probably the second OST I have heard from this game that I generally enjoy, which makes me happy that there's at least a few there's at least now a couple of tracks here that I find myself enjoying. Makes me hope that it's not going to be all just sort of the more generic stuff that we've heard from like the beta. From Takahiro Kai, never heard of him, but
He has done a lot of I believe he also composed the main theme as well, but my understanding about him is that he has done a lot of work with Sega's mobile games. Mostly the ones that didn't really escape Japan.
okay.
And then has
So,
also
like,
done a handful of tracks for Yakuza games as well. Not a lot, but some.
Hey guys, I'll be right back.
Okay.
Did either of you, okay, GX, did you have a chance to listen to the song?
No, I have not.
'Cause-
I have been thoroughly busy this week, so catching up on things has been a challenge.
Well, I guess everyone will just have to take my word for it that I found it rather enjoyable.
I mean, it has stiff competition because I really like the soundtrack of Team Sonic Racing. It has an amazing soundtrack, and this thing's gonna have a hard time competing.
Well, this is probably the second track that I feel like could at least stand up to it. I don't know about like win.
Well,
it does sound good.
It does make me question, like, okay, how much is this unified under a single composer versus how much of it is a collection of multiple composers that and remixers will say that they sent out to, because that might sway how I feel I feel like whenever they've done the reference to other, like when the levels are references to other Sonic stuff, whenever they pull from different people, that usually produces more interesting results compared to hey, this is just one person who has largely done most of the soundtrack.
Well, I didn't know that. Didn't TailsTube do a lot of the music for Team Sonic Racing?
He did some, but there were a lot of different names attached to that. It's too much for me to even point to any specific amount, because Team Sonic Racing had an incredibly diverse set of artists attached to it.
Well, anyway, I think this is the first soundtrack they've actually highlighted from this game, so hopefully we'll get a little more of this in the coming weeks. Finally, Iizuka talked a lot about Sonic Racing CrossWorlds racing design, specifically how they designed the game without items first before going into the main game,
which is an odd decision.
Well, apparently the goal was to just perfect the racing before they began to add items.
Which is funny because it sounds like they didn't perfect the racing before they started adding items, if the beta test, or if the network test was anything to suggest.
Yeah, that was my thinking as well. But so it was initially designed with no items. They added them later, and then they removed items that were too stressful for players from the game. According to Iizuka, they wanted to make the racing itself without any items to make sure the racing itself was fair and fun. The dev team took things down to a base level and wanted to have that fun, competitive racing mechanic. They did a lot of play tests, and anything that was very stressful for players, anything that allowed people to come back from behind and win all the time, needed to be removed. And we can definitely see them working on that balancing post the beta, because like they didn't remove any items, but they did, as I've talked about before, make them way less common and less powerful and stuff. So at the very least, like, you can see them attacking it with that mindset between the beta and what was shown in June. But I do wonder, like, if these were the items that made it in, what were the items that didn't?
So there's the blade that cuts your car in half horizontally. The one that they removed was the one that cuts your car in half vertically, so that you can see the innards of your character until they just morph back together into one unified thing.
Huh.
Just very violent.
But I would be very keen about seeing what didn't make it off the cutting room floor. Just today we also got some information on Mario and Sonic 2020 from its producer Lee Cocker. Who also gave us the initial story last year regarding why we didn't get another one.
Indeed.
So like we've heard, this is not the first time we've heard from this guy, but this is the first time he just came out and said this stuff on social media instead of through an interviewer. So according to him,
it sounds like this was Project Cross Zone Olympics or something.
Yes. So, apparently, the original plan for Tokyo 2020 was to make it a video game all-stars sort of deal, with lots of classic and present-day video game characters, including Pokemon, Street Fighter, Mega Man, Metal Gear Solid, Sonic, Mario, Zelda, Sony and Microsoft properties, and apparently Dragon Ball. Which,
the degree
okay.
I would love to know how far this plan actually made it, because some of those licenses are much more expensive than others.
Like, yes, that is something that I questioned in the articles. Like, I wonder how, we don't know how far they made it, but like, at the very least, this was something they apparently attempted to do.
Which would be more
But
expensive, Pokemon or Dragon Ball? Probably
probably,
Pokemon.
eh, yeah, I guess. I mean, like,
In a game, yeah, I bet.
yeah, I'm trying to think what crossovers has Pokemon done, and
Not many.
yeah, I don't think that it has sold itself out as much as Dragon Ball has.
No, Dragon Ball's a little bit more willing to go out there. It's still not crazy. Like there's definitely brands that you can buy today, some of which maybe were not as buyable in 2020, but Dragon Ball's at least more available than Pokemon.
But I do find it interesting that they did at one point attempt to grow this beyond the Mario and Sonic brand. And one thing I wonder is like, what stopped them from just making it an expanded Nintendo and Sega crossover? Um, According to him, like lots of deals and agreements couldn't be agreed upon.
Yeah,
And so
I
they
think
just went back to
I
Mario
think
and
that
Sonic.
answers your question. They couldn't get people to agree. Like there's definitely
Sonic saved Pikachu's life, man. They owe him.
I like I don't see Sega as being, knowing Sakurai's place in sort of Japanese game development, it wouldn't be surprising if he can lubricate things to make deals happen. Whereas I don't think Sega's in that position to make the same kinds of deals happen.
Well, I mean, I suspect they definitely weren't in 2019, but we have in more recent years seen them pull off some crazy crossovers themselves. Like, I don't know if any, like nothing on the level of Dragon Ball. Well, okay. I guess you can make the argument that DC is as big as Dragon Ball, but I don't know. Like nothing on the we'll say nothing on the level of Pokemon. We'll say that. And certainly like not all of this stuff at once.
Digimon in chat says, I don't know why they didn't just do Nintendo Sega instead of trying to get everything else. I would say you would still probably have a lot of concerns about trying to coordinate with Nintendo getting multiple brands, because Nintendo's going to have different rules attached to different brands as well. Like, licensing agreement is one thing, but brand management and how you are using these characters in different ways with different interactions is something completely different, and Nintendo is protective enough of their stuff that they would want it handled in specific ways. Plus you have issues like, well, you're not just working with Nintendo necessarily, but Pokemon Company is a separate entity, Intelligent Designs is a separate entity. Intelligent Systems.
Intelligent Systems
is a separate entity.
They aren't creationists,
and they have their own set of rules. HAL is a separate company. There are some companies within Nintendo that you could work with, but you'd figure the stuff that you probably wouldn't have to talk to anyone else for are Zelda, Splatoon, probably
Animal
not
Crossing.
Metroid. Probably, yeah, Animal Crossing you wouldn't have to.
I would imagine anything that was in Mario Kart 8.
Yeah, bit more or less. There's definitely some of the external partners that would be very easy to talk to, like Namco. Like Namco's all in on assisting with any sort of Nintendo adjacent.
They probably could have gotten Pac-Man.
Yeah, no, like Namco literally has a team that is dedicated to do support work for Nintendo. Like, like in the most literal sense, that team exists to run support for Nintendo for whatever Nintendo needs them for. Capcom's available for sale. Like you can get licensed for whatever you want. It's probably easier to do Mega Man than like Monster Hunter, but even Sonic got Monster Hunter, so I don't know.
Yeah. It's possible that maybe they shot for the moon, and when that didn't work out, they just decided to just fall back and what they already had. Because of course, these games were made on a pretty limited time scale and budget, so
you gotta be
it's
out.
possible that they just shot their shot and then just went back to what standard.
And it like Tokyo 2020 was the biggest one of these. Like,
yeah, and the best.
Regardless of crossover, it was a pretty darn good one of those, and it was certainly the biggest, and it was the console one that had a story as opposed to the only DS ones that had a story. DS and 3DS, yep. But yeah.
We should probably consider reaching out to that guy, see if we can maybe get an interview out of this.
Shigs, who would you send to the Olympics?
Let me see. Well, for the judo class, I'd send the
Pokemon you just caught.
Rio and Ken, I'm sure. Yeah, the Pokemon I just got.
You can't use Shoryukens in judo, Shigs. That's not a sumo move. That is very illegal.
They use Link for the crossbow events.
There are no crossbow events in the Olympics.
Bow and arrow. Sorry, I don't know what the hell I'm saying right now.
That's okay. I put you on the spot there. We can move on.
All right, so we're moving on to the mobile corner. Sonic Blitz got another update a couple weeks ago, which added a whole bunch of new cards, including a Knuckles card that makes both will make both lanes go at the same time, which is really fun to build up to. Like the best aspect of this game at this point is just building up your moves to deliver massive damage, while also trying to avoid getting obliterated while you're doing that, which I have had that happen to me more than once. It's like you really do have to at least play some defense, even as you are trying to build up for your ultimate attack.
Yeah, the computer players in the early versions were not really defensive in any meaningful way. So you could pretty straightforward just steamroll them because it is not any like they don't put up a meaningful fight. Like
but now you're going up against human characters who will one-shot you if you're not careful.
Yeah.
I said human players, right? But lots of fun new cards in this, like Knuckles, as I mentioned. We also got Tangle, who can it will come back to you after you send her out. And she's a little stronger, a little better than the Flicky that can do the same thing. And doing both of those at the same time can be a whole lot of fun. because it's like then you can rapid fire them for a bit while you're building up a separate lane until they both end up in that lane, which happens sometimes. We got Bark, who has this sexy new 3D render.
You okay? Yeah, okay. We're really getting into your interests tonight.
I don't mean literally sexy as in sexual GX. I mean it just looks cool. God damn it. And Dr. Fukarov finally became properly available in the game, and he is really cool because he will power up everyone on your team. And he also has a really cool render, despite being this old ass Sonic character. Like that's probably like my second favorite thing about this game now is that like we're getting all these cool updated 3D renders for all these old obscure characters now. Um, but like yeah, like there's even more card variety now. I do recommend checking it out if like you have any interest in Sonic and do not absolutely abhor card games, because I'm finding this to get more and more fun with every update. We got some footage on our YouTube, which I painstakingly recorded. Technically, the big one, the long one, was taken over the course of like multiple sessions and includes both updates, because with update 2, you could barely get any of the cards in update 2 until update 3 came around. So that was kind of annoying.
Yeah,
But regardless, like you
balance
can check
going
that out now.
forward is gonna. It feels like it's gonna get real weird because I don't know.
What?
I continue to have concerns about how this thing plans to balance itself long term.
True. But
With
yeah, like
access
the
to
monetization
different.
is going to be worrying when they finally do it, because they have red rings, they have season passes, they have 3 separate currencies. At the moment, everything's free, and I'm taking advantage of that. But ooh, when they finally properly launch it, I'm worried that they might break it. I just hope I get to keep all the stuff I have. They don't reset all of that. I don't know what's standard for mobile games.
I, it depends. Right now, I would assume that that you're probably not going to be able to keep it, but I also don't know because
Oh,
they still have to do some significant. Like, I bet a lot of this is going to get at least some pass of meaningful rebalancing, and I would be shocked.
they've already done some rebalancing.
Well, both rebalancing of the cards, but then also the entire progression system. It would not shock me if it gets an entire overhaul. That seems
Yeah.
like what you would do in the span of, like, hey, we could look at Sonic Rumble, which has an even more meaningful an even more meaningful pre-release period that has gone through some major changes in its structure prior to its still yet to release.
um, uh, all I know is this game. It gives me a little cat frame, and it also gave me a little Blaze picture, and so I got to put Blaze in a little cat frame with whiskers. That was cute. So moving on to more depressing news. Multiple Sonic games were delisted from the App Store and Google Store, along with a bunch of Sega games. Now, this is technically following up something that happened that was like first announced back in May, I think, when they announced that a whole bunch of games were having their service ended. And so like Sonic CD, Sonic 4 Episode 1 and 2, and all of the Sega Forever games have all been delisted from all the mobile storefronts.
Yep.
Which sucks.
I will reiterate what I have reiterated multiple times. Boy, if they have plans to do something with their classic games, it sure would be nice to know what those plans were before they started delisting everything.
Yeah, but that's not how the marketers work. They have to announce everything in a specific way at a
That's
specific time.
that's how it worked for Sonic Origins. They at least said, "Hey, you know what's coming, and we're going to delist these at a
Well,
specific time."
Sonic
And
Origins arguably got announced way earlier than it probably should have been.
probably,
But
but
like, yeah, the
also,
overall communication was much better there. But
yeah.
like the marketers, they will not care about this stuff and like the timing of delisting and things. All they care about is, has our master plan for when we unveil specific things about a game been foiled by those filthy leakers?
Well, that's I mean, that's the problem is we don't know if they've got, like, until they say they
Yeah, we
have
don't.
something.
I would love for that to be leaked if there is anything.
But right now we're just in an era where, like, they just killed a bunch of retro games just cuz, and we don't know if there's anything coming after it. Like, I don't want to
It would
give
be
them
a
credit of like, well,
very.
we have to market it in this server. Like, we don't know if there's anything to market right now.
It would be a very strange decision to like delist the old Crazy Taxi game as you're releasing a new Crazy Taxi game.
It,
Like that's part of what makes these decisions so weird. Is like they've been delisting games that are like inactive franchises.
it's not that they've just been delisting that. It's just basically if it's not a Sonic game and it's some sort of classic retro port, then it's just gone. Like it's just gone. Like I don't get it. I don't get the decision. The only thing I could possibly think of is if there were some contracts for middleware or an external developer that went up in 2025 or something that they had to execute on.
Huh.
But like until
I would think we would have heard some rumblings about that by now if that were the case.
yeah, but I would also think that if they're going to announce the elimination of these, that they would have a reason for it.
Well, we don't always get that from these companies, unfortunately. It's very frustrating, but that is just how the business world works.
Sometimes it works, but there are other companies that are, a little bit more willing to say
sometimes,
why.
sometimes not. No, plenty of companies have been pretty obfuscating about certain things or a lot of things. Like, I don't know. It's just what I'm used to from these companies at this point. Is that maybe sometimes they'll tell you what's going on, sometimes they won't.
I know. It just seems weird because it's specifically back catalog stuff. Like that's the part that like I understand completely why Anthem's servers are going offline. In fact, I was surprised that their servers were still online.
Yeah.
Seriously.
But for Sega to be delisting their back catalog retro games on current platform that are at least compatible with current platforms still feels inexplicable. Unless like I'm looking for any reason why. Like I'm trying to give them benefit of the doubt here of like any possible reason why you might actually do that, because it doesn't make sense unless you have some sort of valid reason. But I can't realistically find a reason that makes sense to me.
Well, hopefully we're gonna get one soon. But like to me,
sure
the
hope
reason
so.
why they wouldn't give a reason, like either A, it's what I said before, and it's just corpo stuff, or B, they have this thing that they're working on that they don't want to talk about yet, and so we just get these strange, inexplicable delistings until they finally announce something 6 months or a year from now. Shigs, have any thoughts on this? You've been quiet.
Not really. I mean, I haven't played the Sonic 4 or Sonic 1 on a phone of any kind in years. And it's really not the ideal place usually to play those, so
It was kind of a unique
it doesn't.
version, though.
Yeah.
It's
Um,
funny. It's funny to think of episode 2 being playable on phones, but not playable on Wii.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not
I
playable on
remember
Wii,
that.
not playable on 3DS or Wii U. Like,
Well,
there's,
even episode 1 wasn't on 3DS.
yeah, I know, but like, then there was just this period where like the big Sonic games just did not appear on Nintendo's platforms for a couple of years.
But well,
Um,
I think it was WiiWare had like really restrictive size requirements that were baked into the
yeah,
hardware.
I think they were like 64 megabytes or something.
It's real
Right.
small, and like it's funny to think of the
Yeah, I
fact that
remember that
like
about Wii
phones
Arcade.
could handle apps bigger than that even at the
But like,
time.
you'd think that okay, then just port it to Sonic 4 then just port Sonic 4 Episode 2 to Wii U, comes out in like 7 months.
What is a Wii U? I've never heard of this thing. Oh wait, no, Sega has heard of the Wii U because they got into bed with it in a really restrictive way.
Oh yeah, with the Sonic brand. That wasn't smart.
Probably not. But
Never made that contract.
it probably
So-
made sense in the moment.
We do, of course, have some little updates for the Sega Hardlight mobile games. Sonic Dash got another gameplay update, which has been getting a couple of these lately.
Yeah, why?
Like they revamped missions a couple months ago, and that because I completely missed that until I started playing the game back in June. But they've added some like a new obstacle to the courses, a spring that will send you up, and then rings that may or may not be up there that you can like hit to do some like aerial maneuvering.
It's not
And-
that far removed from like it feels like a lot of what they're doing is condensing some of the mechanics from either condensing or reinterpreting some of the mechanics that were in like Sonic Dash 2, Sonic Boom into
was
that. And
that for them too?
It wasn't exactly in 2. In 2 did have springs that would shoot you up. The difference would be you would hit a grapple point and then like swing left and right to get rings, or you would hit a rail to grind up in the sky or something like that.
Right.
But it was a slightly alternative path to get additional rings if you could.
I guess find it interesting that they continue to update like the gameplay here in lieu of like trying to make another sequel. They're really investing.
They made
in this
one.
thing now.
It was a bomb.
But
What'd you say?
technically, Sonic Dash 2 is still running. They still maintain it on like automated events and stuff. So I don't know.
I didn't know it had events.
Like they're basic stuff. They're like basic running missions. It's still a rather buggy game. Like it launched buggy. It's still buggy, but
that sucks.
they still got stuff going with it.
So I do like the new gimmick. It does add another bit of spectacle to the courses, which I appreciate. And we also, of course, got like the final like new character from like this round from this update, which is Sheriff Sonic, who is not a very good character.
You don't say.
Well, I'm talking purely game mechanics here. So he has his lasso that he can send out, and he can like grab a character and it shoots them forward. And that's kind of like what Ninja Espio can do, or with his shuriken. So it's just like a reskin of that. But then there's also his boost, which is the kind of boost that's a big pain in the ass because you have to, because like to do his big speed attack with Sheriff Sonic, a bunch of like saloon doors pop up randomly on the track, and whether or not you'll be able to use them depends entirely on the RNG of where they pop up, because they will pop up in obstacles, in other characters' weapons if they left them on the ground.
This is like, very. This
is
very similar to the Sonic and Amy baseball ones, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And it was terrible then, and it's terrible now. But like now, you've got like this little song that will play, but like it only plays completely if you manage to hit all of the doors without like breaking sequence. And since I'm usually just getting hit and smacked around most of the time and hitting obstacles and stuff, like you just get these brief like bits of notes that will play for a second until like the damage sound plays when you slam into an obstacle or something.
What song is it hypothetically supposed to be playing?
Like this basic like Western saloon jig kind of thing.
Gotcha. I thought not like a Sonic notable track or something.
No, nothing that you could like do on SS. That would be like interesting to do on SS. I was gonna
say like, oh, we have a couple tones from I don't know.
I mean, you could. It would just be extremely obviously Western.
No, I'm not fishing for the stream. I'm thinking like, oh, is it from that Western track, Mirage? What is it called? Mirage Saloon or something?
Mirage Saloon, yeah. No,
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Okay, so it's
and
just generic.
it will
Okay.
play even if you have all of the music muted in game.
Oh, it's a sound effect then. It's on the sound
Yes.
effect layer.
But anyway, so like yeah, and we also have Extreme Gear Supersonic coming. Hicks Sonic Dash tomorrow. I mean, I don't know. Like, I would have preferred like Extreme Gear, literally any other character, but I guess Supersonic is fine. So moving on. To animation and to the TailsTube. So we kind of got a TailsTube out of nowhere while I was driving, while I was going to see the Superman movie on last Thursday.
You're driving, and it was suddenly in the middle of the road. You had to swerve.
And so like I had to like take some time to. I think I only had to write the article. You handled the socials, I think. Well, whatever.
I don't think I did.
You did not. No, I had to do it all. But anyway, so like what's kind of most notable about this is that it is written by Tyson Hesse. Not the first one to be written by him, but it's like it's the last one to be written by him. Because the last one is going to have his major involvement because apparently like he was like the main guy heading this project and championing this project while it was in development and stuff. So he was like the TailsTube guy. And I think this one was, again, pretty good. They've been leaning towards entertaining lately instead of just marketing, which I have appreciated.
Yeah.
I seen you guys have also watched it.
Yeah, it was very cute, but no lore expansion or anything. It was just a cute little
Nope.
side story
hey,
thing with
there was lore.
him and Sonic having fun.
Like, we got to find out that Sonic once tried to eat a pipe. We got to find out that Sonic wears socks. They are all the same socks, and he doesn't do his own laundry. He has Tails do it. We got to learn about Rouge's mental manipulations and what Amy does with all of the clothes that she apparently doesn't wear because she's always wearing the same goddamn red dress day in and day out. She donates them.
I should probably watch this one.
Wait, I thought so. You haven't watched this one?
I didn't.
Oh yes, you should.
I don't, like I said, I haven't had time for a lot of things this week.
Okay, well, so Shigs, like, what were your thoughts on this?
Like I said, I thought it was very cute. It was just a lighthearted bit of fun with any like seriousness at all. I did like some of the bits of humor, like Amy catching on that they were trying to use her name constantly to be complimentary, and then
Oh yeah,
she's like, "Hey, wait a minute, I know this little trick." So yeah, I mean that was a cute bit of animation. So I wonder if they're gonna still continue with these, or are they gonna stop?
they're gonna continue. It's just not gonna be Tyson with Tyson Hesse. I assume that we'll just have more written by Ian Flynn with art from Evan Stanley. Maybe Daniel Barnes will get in on this. Who knows? But these definitely will be continuing. And one thing that Tyson Hesse did mention was that like he wanted to try to depict Sonic and Tails' friendship as real. And so he wanted Sonic to get a little dumb and stuff. Which he does in this.
Good.
And of course, we can all guess the reaction from certain corners.
We don't even have to bring it up. It's fun. Like it could. We can agree that it's
funny
good.
Was everyone was assuming it was Ian Flynn, and then once it came out that it wasn't, at least a few of them completely changed their perspective on it. It just shows just how naked the Flynn hate has gotten at this point.
Yeah, I don't know. I am at
I
the
think it
point
is
now.
good that we bring this stuff up on here.
I guess
'Cause,
I'm to the
like, it
point
is-
where I don't even want to think about these people because I'm just gonna say it. They're freaking idiots. They're freaking. They don't have any
They
idea.
are, but I have to see them every day, and I need places to vent. And this is one of those places because it's a Sonic talk.
My place is in a Nintendo server where they where there isn't a whole lot of love for Sonic to begin with, so it's very easy
I should
for
go
me
over there
to
and talk. I should go over there and talk about Banjo-Kazooie.
I don't know. I know a few people who will be opinionated about the cultural appropriation of Banjo-Kazooie, so I don't know.
I mean, I completely get the culture, like the the native stuff aspect of it.
Not Native American.
Um,
That's totally different thing, but yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that the girl is very Native American, but that's technically Banjo-Tooie. So, but
Right.
anyway, so moving on to merchandise.
Merchandise.
Yes, merchandise. Sonic Sonic the DC figure. DCX Sonic, Jack Specific announced their DCX Sonic 5-inch figures, which I did get to do a whole little video news article on this. That was fun. They unveiled them. This is going to be the first wave, which is why we still don't have Cyborg Tails in any of this. But we do have Sonic as the Flash, Silver as Green Lantern, and Amy as Wonder Woman, and we also have a 4-pack, which will have an exclusive 7-inch Darkseid alongside Sonic Flash and Green Lantern Silver. And
Who is Darkseid dressed as?
Oh, Darkseid is just dressed
Darkseid
as
is just
Darkseid.
Oh, he should be dressed as. Who would Darkseid be dressed as?
Darkseid would be dressed as
Would he be a Zavok? Yeah, that was actually my first. He would definitely be a Zavok.
He's gonna like have to put on some red spandex and some horns. But we also got Batman Shadow, who I'm very disappointed that they're not calling him the Shadow of the Bat.
Or no, you call him Bato.
But the version of Batman Shadow that we're getting in the 4-pack, the Power versus Speed pack is a technical name, will have a glowing Batman logo on his chest. So I guess this is like yeah.
I was gonna say also until the next wave of them, he's currently exclusive to this 4-pack.
Yep. And I expect that the non-exclusive one will probably not have the glowing emblem. So if you want that, you're going to have to get this. Which I am tempted, mostly by the novelty. These all look pretty good, as you would expect from Jack Specific. Especially Wonder Woman Amy, I think. Flash Sonic does look just kind of weird to me because it's
always has.
Like, how does his mask function is one thing I really want to know.
Do you think that that Alfred and Commissioner Gordon had to deal with this now Hedgehog that was going into Batman's things in order to utilize his technology?
Yes, I think they are going to have to deal with the Shadow. I think they're going to have to deal with his brooding, and I really wish we could have gotten those scenes, but for that we needed a longer comic book, unfortunately.
Oh.
A significantly longer comic book.
Look, we can have the mini-series that is just everyone trying to figure out what the hell is up with this anthropomorphic creature that is now taking Bruce Wayne. Do you think Shadow had to manage Bruce Wayne's companies for a period of time? I hope so.
That Alfred that Alfred handled that.
No, no.
What I'm
Just
wondering is whether or
imagine.
not he had any.
Imagine
what I'm-
reporter Knuckles having to go to the Daily Planet, following Lois around as and just trying to take notes with his big mitts.
Oh my god. Like the one thing we did probably miss out on was Shadow interacting with Damien.
Yeah, yeah.
Two
I think
utter
those two would get
edgelords.
along splendidly. Because Damien, he's kind of like all about. He doesn't care if he kills him or anything either.
Yeah. So we also got some Funko Pops, which I don't care about Funko Pops, but if you care about Cyborg Tails, they're currently the only way of getting Cyborg Tails and Superman Knuckles merch. Now, a bunch of these went up for pre-order. They sold out pretty quickly. The first batch are shipping July 20th, and the next batch is shipping August 24th. These are Funko Pops.
Speaking of things that sold out immediately,
yeah.
I got notification from my good friend Saber, like 1 or 2 days ago. I forget which exact it was. Whenever the Sonic, the Sonic Magic the Gathering cards went up for their drop over on Secret Lair. And I was like, okay, it's up. I should probably make a tweet. And then the first response was like, yeah, the queue's already like completely full. You're probably a little late on this.
This was something I'm just actively ignoring because although I may be enjoying the digital Sonic card game, I have no interest in the physical Sonic card game.
Well, yeah, I mean it has a couple original cards, and then a lot of them are just reskins of existing stuff. But the way I had to explain. So the thing you have to understand about Secret Lair is this is specifically Magic the Gathering for the real sickos. Like yeah,
I think you told me these were like super expensive.
Like these are the pricey ones. These are the ones where they do like limited time drops in the same way that a sneaker company would do limited drops for whatever they're selling.
Now, isn't like one of the differences that the cards aren't randomly, like you're going to get all the cards?
Yeah, you're buying a set number of cards. You know what you're getting because they tell you like it's this pack, but it's gonna be like $40 for. Well, I mean it varies on what you want to pay, but like. It starts expensive and then it goes up from there because you have options to be like, what if you want them all to be holographic? You can pay extra to have them all be holographic. Do you want that? Do you have a lot of disposable income and very few other hobbies? Then you can go all in on this.
Each set retailed for $30 for regular and $40 for the foil editions.
Yeah.
Now, did that get you all of the cards at least?
It's in multiple packs. Like some of.
So you have to buy multiple packs to get all the cards.
I believe so.
Man, at the very least, the art's nice.
Like I said, this is Magic the Gathering for the real sickos. Like If you skim Secret Lair and just look at some of the other art that they have, like they have lands done by specific artists, and it's a land. Like it's a land in Magic. Like it's the most basic ass card that you could get. But if you want it by this specific popular artist in this extremely fancy style, you can pay a bunch of money to get that. If you want to have the the real Ghostbusters cartoon license attached to a bunch of different cards. You can get that by paying a lot of money, and it is I think it's some sort of legal card. It's probably legal in Commander or something, but it's for the people that are so into the game that they will wait in a queue to buy cards.
You know what sucks is, like, I have some limited experience with Magic the Gathering from my days in high school. So like I would be interested in at least trying out a Magic the Gathering game with Sonic cards.
Yep.
But like, not for like, I don't know, $60 or however much it would cost to actually get all the cards.
I mean, I'm gonna suggest, hey, if you're interested in any meaningful way in the game itself, like just jump on Arena, see if
Sonic.
Arena's worth. Yeah, okay, you do you. People are still extremely happy right now with the stuff that they're doing with Final Fantasy. Like that's.
I heard, wasn't that also super expensive?
I mean, they're also selling it in a more direct, conventional way. Like this isn't just. I don't think Final Fantasy is just Secret Lair stuff. I believe it's part of their larger, more standard stuff. I'd have to look into it, but I don't know. It's much more involved than like I said. For Sonic, it's a couple unique cards and then a lot of reskins of existing cards to fit with the Sonic universe. For Final Fantasy, it's like, no, they made a whole Final Fantasy set in the same way that they would make a whole normal set.
Well, neat, I guess. I don't know. I'm just glad that you were around to talk about it, because I would have nothing to say about Magic the Gathering. Shigs, do you have anything to say about Magic the Gathering?
I am no way going to pay that kind of money for these cards whatsoever.
I just think it's I think it's interesting in the abstract, but yeah, they're expensive. Like I said, Secret Lair is Magic the Gathering for sickos. Like if that is the one hobby that you follow, if you are a Magic the Gathering person with a capital M and a capital P, then you will probably be looking in Secret Lair for interesting things.
You want to know what else is for sickos, GX?
Limited run games. That has a lot of sickos.
You should just give me the chance to answer instead of, because we all have access to saying no's. God damn it! So it's like, let me do my transition.
Well, you shouldn't have phrased it in a question then, because I assumed that was the.
I don't know why. Why, Knuckles? But yes, so limited run games, their Sonic Shadow Generations edition has been delayed. The $250 collector's edition that was first announced almost a year ago, it is now coming in November. And I have to say, it's at least good that they're making sure that the statue isn't crap.
I mean, well, I question.
So hopefully it's not crap.
Limited Run has, for a long while, had some quality control issues. I personally do not have the faith in them as a company to assume that this is going to be perfecting quality control. It could be manufacturing delays. It could be that there could be something just inherently broken about them. It could be tariff related. I don't necessarily trust their vague explanation as to why
that it's like they're trying to perfect the statue.
Yeah.
I don't know. They could have just said vague manufacturing issues or something if they really wanted to.
Like I've seen them attempt, like they've done and announced a bunch of plush as of late. Starting with like Tomba and going into some Sega stuff, and it's down to the point now where they sell these plush via a render. Not with a sample, but with a 3D render. But when I look at the 3D render, it doesn't make any sense as a sewing project. Like, you can't put seams here and have it be round in the way that they are designing it to be. There's too much detail around this area to actually reproduce that at the scale that they're advertising, and the end result has largely been like, no, it doesn't look nearly as good as those renders are trying to make it look. Like, they have big problems between putting out a render of something and then actually going to manufacture it. It's the ultimate Kickstarter problem of, yeah, this is what we want to make. Give us money now, and we'll totally make it and tell you that it's going to be good enough. And philosophically, it sounds like where they stand as a company under their specific leadership right now is, well, good enough is good enough. So knowing that about them broadly, I just look at that and think, like, I don't know what they're going to deliver on this. I don't know if it's going to be an absolute S show, that it's going to be a real crap statue. Like, for all I know, they could have say, I don't know, the best we can do now is it's a big acrylic standee that looks like this. We said design would change between now and obviously I'm half joking, but it's also not entirely out of reality that something about this design could dramatically change for the worse, because it has in the past.
Well, I mean, I hope not, because it looks cool, and if it ever goes on sale for super cheap, I want to get it.
I believe Sonic and Shadow standing on a Dreamcast.
Yeah, I love how that looks. But let's see, what was I going to say? Well, anyway, so oh yeah, nope. Okay, it completely left my head while you were talking. Oh well.
Cool. Let's move on.
So yeah. So moving on to the SEGA and McLaren. SEGA and McLaren, the racing company, have announced a partnership, which, like, I'm assuming that's just going to mean, like, hey, like, McLaren logos are going to pop up in some SEGA stuff, and maybe there'll be Sonic in, like, a McLaren racing costume or something somewhere. And the Sega's going to be at some McLaren events. But we got kind of a sort of a surprising kickoff of the whole partnership with a event in London that our own Dreadnuts went to, where they gave away a Sonic racing manga written by Ian Flynn, done by the manga guy, and colored by someone from IDW whose name currently escapes me. It's again like a lot of these. It was a fun little surprise, especially since they released it online for us all to enjoy, like, less than a week later. And at the very least, it is a nice looking piece of kit. The manga, like, the art is really nice. The mangaka, he is like really. He really knows how to render Sonic characters.
Cool.
Yuki Imada was the artist, and Miho Kim was the colorist. There was even like a little Sonic R track that appeared like towards the end of the manga that Sonic and Eggman get to race through. So overall, it was a fun little thing. I'm not really sure what we can expect from the partnership.
Just a lot of brand collaboration events, and probably some,
Right.
it's like, hey, if McLaren is going to be at this track, then meet and greet the Sonic mascot suit and we'll show
That
off
is
the
one of the
car.
things that was at the event, which Dredd got some footage of. There was a Sonic mascot that was like waving at people and taking pictures and stuff. And there was also like this little racing competition. You could like race some cars on one of these little tracks, and that's how you like won things like the manga there. But I don't know, like as someone who's never really gonna go to these events, I'm mostly interested in like what is the game implications from this, and like are we gonna be getting some mobile tie-ins? And I don't know, but like this will apparently be going into Sonic's birthday next year.
It wouldn't be surprising if at some point they maybe gave you some, I don't know, some card, like I think CrossWorlds has like car decals that you can put on your thing.
It does. It has stickers.
Or
so we can have some McLaren stickers.
Or like an F1 style design for a car or something. Like that seems like the obvious thing that they would do, but I can't imagine like, hey, we put Sonic in a car for Sonic Forces Speed Battle or something like that. That
would be interesting.
It would be very interesting.
Like I said, I expect they like put him in some kind of racing suit or something with like McLaren on it.
Maybe.
But probably the most interesting thing about this whole partnership is that McLaren was the racing company that won the SEGA Grand Prix back in 1993 with that Sonic trophy, and they've been leaning into that so far. So I'm wondering if they're going to like be using the trophy in any of their stuff. They've already used it in the manga. So I don't know, like that's a neat bit of history. I don't know if that had any motivation behind their partnership or not. Did either of you have a chance to check out the manga?
No.
Yeah, I did.
All right. Well, why don't you talk about it?
Well, basically, it's a cute little story where Eggman's taunting Sonic to race him, and he takes Tails' car, which he hasn't quite fixed up and souped up yet, and it turns out it doesn't work. He basically crashes, so they go back on it. They work it all out.
And then they have another race.
Speed up and modify it, have another race, and Sonic wins this time.
Yeah, and they go through that city level from Sonic R.
Yep. Easy peasy.
So I do recommend checking out that manga if you haven't yet. You can find it on Sonic Stadium's website. We posted the whole thing there. Probably the only thing from Yuki Imada that we will be allowed to post on our website because
Korokoro is very protective of all of their art.
Yes, like at the point where SEGA has did a thing on social media where they just basically asked everyone to not post anything about anything from the manga, which I find rather frustrating. But so
Japan certainly does not understand American social media.
Yep. But speaking of a comic book that we can post as much as we want to because DC doesn't care. DC X Sonic issue 4. We're finally going to discuss this thing. And I don't expect it's going to take us for very long because
the news is the 4th or 5th reprinting of DC Sonic X.
It
DC
just
X
won't
Sonic.
stop. They won't stop
Sonic,
reprinting it.
Number 1, yep. Came out today, and it is the cover is Superman Knuckles. I think they're going to do one for each character as far as the reprint of number 1.
I think they already did that. I think I reported that like back in
Nope, Superman Knuckles just this week.
Well, did it just come out or it just got announced?
Yeah, it just came out today.
Okay, I reported on that technically, so that's old news. We talked about this last time. I was gonna say I remember this. Like they're running like I think the next character would have to be like Wonder Woman Amy or whatever. I think she's the only one they haven't done yet.
So immediately my reaction is, man, who has a better rogues gallery, DC or Sonic? And the answer is very clear.
DC, yes.
DC.
Like we get Eggman, we get Metal Sonic, and we get the Deadly Six, and it's like,
and most significantly, I want to kind of emphasize this. Regardless of what anybody says regarding, hey, is the comics canon or not? Like, there is nothing that happens. There are no characters of meaning in the in the IDW comic series that get to have a role in this, which means,
and also like they would have been completely outclassed anyway. Like aside from Surge.
Sure. But
like
it does mean that they're it's the second half of what they did in number 3, where okay, the
Sonic cast fought the DC Rogues Gallery.
Yeah, and now the DC heroes trapped in Sonic's world, which I will admit, yep, just as you said, it just means that they got disconnected. It doesn't mean that their world stopped existing or whatever.
Yeah. And,
right.
And Superman gets to utterly wreck Dr. Eggman's fleet like freaking Supersonic, which I really appreciate their whole interaction. Probably the best one out of all of them, because it's like basically for Metal Sonic and Eggman get to be their own villains and their own things. Everyone else, there either wasn't a villain, it was more of Darkseid's henchmen, or they were like being controlled by Darkseid.
So who's more ridiculous? The Deadly Six or Darkseid's generals? I
mean, easily the German guy.
Yeah. Yeah, Darkseid has way dumber villains.
Which is kind of impressive, given that the Deadly Six can be pretty stupid.
Telling the Flash that you got this conch that can control them. Of course, he's going to instantly just yank it from him and go, "Oh, you mean this conch?"
And
then Savic's like,
they really
fight to the death or whatever. He's like, "Oh, you're stuck on this island, right?" Yeah. Well, yes, but still, sorry, bye.
Yeah, like, you can't run fast or anything, right? And he said, "Well, no, my strength is more than enough." Then Flash just takes off. That was great. And do you want to guess what the most outrageous fan reaction was towards in this?
I'm guessing it was sensationalist, and it didn't like that character was represented in a certain way. That was actually
yes, but which one?
I don't know. Metal Sonic.
Maybe the Blaze the
Cat.
It was
Metal Sonic. Like, the one reason why I'm glad we didn't discuss this last episode was because there was lots of Metal Sonic discourse that I completely forgot about. Like, Sonic fans were incensed that Batman defeated Metal Sonic so effortlessly.
Why? Why? Batman... I don't know if people know this about Batman, but Batman is Batman.
Batman has defeated Darkseid.
This entire 5-issue series, the 4 issues so far, each side has been defeating their villains with little to zero effort as it is.
And it's because this thing is like 20 pages long. They don't have the space for more drawn out.
Also, I feel like I need to reiterate this just for the sake of emphasis. Batman is Batman. He's an insane, sad boy who's a super genius who is prepared to take down everyone, including his closest friends.
And it's like Metal Sonic gets jobbed on the daily anyway because he's Metal Sonic. Like, that is basically his job, is to be jobbed most of the time. Like, there were like 2 exceptions to that in Sonic CD and Sonic Heroes. But beyond that, he is a jobber, and that is what he did for Batman. Like, Batman chased him down, blew up his leg, and then hit him with a motorcycle. That's, you know what? Yeah, fine. That works for Metal Sonic because he is not a powerhouse. He is he's like super fast anyway. That's his thing.
Also, he's a robot. Let's
Yeah.
he's a robot. He acts and does robot things. I mean,
But
it's
anyway,
fine.
so
It's fine.
the action was pretty good too.
It's all right.
I am again sad that much like we didn't get to see Tails too much, we didn't see Cyborg do anything. Like this thing constantly runs up against the space limitations, and that's
Cyborg's
really
constantly
holding it
getting the
back.
shaft on
Like
both these
like
stories.
so the way that if I was in charge of this, the way that I would have arranged it is do not tell this story by way of here is all of the Sonic characters doing their thing and here is all of the DC characters doing their thing. I would have given, okay, here are 2 of the characters, 2 on the Sonic side, 2 on the DC side, who are their counterparts, and tell the story from each of their perspective in that issue. And then the next issue, choose 2 different characters, or 3 different characters, or something else like that, and then tell that story. And have it...
That certainly would have been a way to tell a smaller story.
Sure.
My view would have been just, hey, just Sonic and the Flash, which I've talked about before. But I will say that just given the space that they have, I have been enjoying these last few issues. Like the dialogue has been fun. The characters they've been injecting as much character as they can despite the limited space. I appreciate stuff like Dr. Eggman calling Superman a tourist and stuff. Like just these little things that help it be a little more than it otherwise would have been.
I led with this, and I am speaking about this very directly. It desperately speaks to the limitations on like villains in Sonic.
Yes, very much.
That like hey, it's cool to watch the Sonic characters fight and have all these interactions with the iconic DC rogues gallery of like, hey, there's the Joker, and Shadow gets to fight the Joker, and Knuckles gets to have an encounter with Lex Luthor in an amusing way. But the Sonic series has been so reliant on one of 2 things. Either number 1, it's Eggman, or number 2, it's a world-devouring monster that we kill as the final boss, and we never see them again.
It's a monster, or it's at least some sort of one-off character you never see again. Or they just become a good guy. That also happens repeatedly. But like, yeah, one of my big things has been Sonic needs a bigger rogues gallery, and they really do need to work on facilitating that through IDW and through like the games.
And for me, like I'm glad you liked it. I thought this was substantially lesser than the one of Sonic characters in the DC world.
Yeah, it was definitely
sure.
Third one was definitely better.
I'm not gonna say it's as good as that. I'm not gonna say it's better than that one, but I still enjoyed it more than like the first issue.
I'm going to go a step farther and saying I didn't think it was very good.
So I do like the more of the banter between Flash and Sonic again. Like,
we're going to be getting some of that in the final issue. But man, I really wish we could have just had like a much more limited crossover situation for this first one, then like maybe do the big Justice League one for a sequel. But regardless, so yeah, I think that's all we have to say about this. The next comic book is.
I want the toy collection that includes both Superman and Eggman, and neither of them are dressed in any specific fancy way. It's just a 2-pack of figurines that comes with Superman and Eggman, and it's just sitting on a shelf. And you have to look at it and understand that there's a Superman figurine in there, and there's an Eggman figurine, and we have to live with that juxtaposition.
I mean, we already have one with Darkseid and the fairy characters. So
Yeah, right. So now we need just the Justice League and Eggman there for some reason. And just have him in his own style, have the Justice League in their own style, have it look completely incongruous, and put that on a toy shelf and sell it.
I think what I would have preferred in this, instead of Darkseid villains taking things up, just have the entire Justice League fighting Eggman or something. I don't know.
I feel like the Superman factor kind of
story.
I mean, I would have liked if they were willing to bring in some of the IDW stuff. Like have Surge in there. Have don't necessarily maybe have Batman like have Cyborg fight Metal Sonic. Have Batman have to deal with Clutch.
This is also why we need the classic characters in the modern cast, because that would get us like the Battle Cuckoo army. It would get us Fang, Bing, and Bark. Get us Witchcart, although I don't know what that would really look like.
I don't think that would solve this issue, because the problem is you would immediately have to be reintroducing all of these other characters.
I'm talking about bringing them in long ago, not for this specific thing.
Yeah,
it's just a case for just doing that in general. That's one way to get us more villains.
Have them be recurring bad guys so that we can have Sonic games where the bad guy is different than the bad guy that it always is.
Yeah,
is what you're saying. Yeah, I wholeheartedly subscribe to that philosophy. I'm just thinking of, well, we have the solution here to this issue, and that solution exists in IDW.
I mean, at the very least, Surge would have been a good addition to all this.
Yeah, and they're willing to do
Surge and Kit.
Tell that to the Mario developers who keep using Bowser in every single story.
Surge and Kit versus the Flash. That could have been interesting.
That Mario, I don't buy that Mario comparison. Mario is philosophically different in its type of storytelling compared to what they're trying to do with Sonic.
But also, the Mario games do introduce other villains, like we had the Brutals in the last one.
They're usually like lackeys of Bowser in some way.
Yeah, and I fail to see the issue.
Well, I think with the Brutals, they were more of a separate organization that were just working with them. They're his wedding planners.
Yeah, they're his wedding planners. They just existed as it's Koopalings, but not the Koopalings. And because it's moon themed, they are rabbits.
But
I don't know what the rabbits have to do with the moon, to be honest. I don't know that connection.
It's Japanese mythology, Japanese/Chinese mythology, that they don't see a face on the moon. They see a rabbit making mochi on the moon, in the way that we have a man in the moon face.
Like that Dragon Ball thing.
That's why Sailor Moon is called Usagi. She is literally the rabbit on the moon.
So, does anyone have anything else to add regarding DCX Sonic issue 4?
They need a villain that is a moon rabbit.
All right, and the Shigs, anything?
No, that's about it. I think they're just going to have one more fight with Darkseid, and then that's
So, yeah, we've got one more issue. It's coming out in a couple of weeks. We will presumably be talking about that on the next episode. Okay, fake money down. Do we have a Supersonic and Superman? I don't see why we wouldn't have at least a Supersonic.
Okay.
I'm betting we're going to get Supersonic, sure.
It seems like
Superman would be interesting, but I think if they're going to super any
of
the
I didn't think of
characters...
that. I want... Superman. I want that so much. I want Superman. Make that a figurine. He just looks like
any
Goku.
Of the DC characters, it would probably be the Flash.
Oh.
And There's also the question of whether or not they would also get Shadow and Silver in on this. But we're definitely at least getting Supersonic. Like, I would be shocked if we don't.
I'm not gonna get over Superman tonight.
That has been in the back of my head since they announced this last year. Like, are we gonna get Golden God Superman?
Oh, Christ.
In
So
any
there is a
case,
golden Superman currently in the new book Superman Unlimited. It happens
really,
when he
I'm aware of a Golden Superman in like Superman Unlimited or something.
yeah, that's
Like
what it
some
is.
spin-off. Not Unlimited. I meant to
Unlimited.
say All-Star Superman. I think there's like a Golden Superman or something at the
In this
end.
case, he poisoned himself pretty heavy because he had to move a kryptonite asteroid from smashing on the land and it went into the ocean. But now there was a giant asteroid. There's kryptonite everywhere that people are using as a new material
Is
for
Oh,
this
stuff.
great.
Jesus? Is this how the Golden Age stories happen? Is just like, well, there's kryptonite everywhere now.
Yeah, pretty much in this one. But
Right.
Superman got so poisoned for him that now he absorbs the sun for his powers, so he's
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
solar powered, right? So he gets poisoned enough, he suddenly turns golden, and then all of his solar energy just kicks in all at once. And for 3 minutes, he's completely invulnerable to kryptonite and can fight back without any issue. But once that 3 minutes is up, he loses all of his powers and is even weaker against kryptonite. It'll kill him a lot quicker. So until he absorbs more solar energy.
So
And
He's more invulnerable to kryptonite, but there's a catch because it's a 3 minute thing.
so he can consume a rumble ball, is what you're saying.
by the way,
Yeah.
yes, Deji, you are correct. The Reverse Flash losing to Sonic like he did was worse than anything they did with Metal Sonic.
But also he's reverse.
Archimedes.
But also he's Reverse Flash. Like, he's Reverse Flash. Come on. He is Reversed Flash.
The only thing
Reverse
that gets
Flash
out
is like one of the most
is
powerful characters.
Sonic.
I
in
understand.
DC.
I understand
The
that
only
they
thing
want
it
me
gets in
to
the past
believe
is
that he is, but he's Reverse Flash. Come
I
on.
know his name is stupid. That's true for a lot of Flash villains.
His concept is also stupid.
Like, I mean, I don't know. His concept is just he's an evil Flash from the future.
Yeah. But he dresses himself in yellow, and he's called He's called Reverse Flash. He's called Reverse Flash. He's like the Flash, but reverse, which also means he runs very fast.
Like those people are trying to get more time out of their underwear and just turn it inside out.
But regardless, like, yes, he's just an evil Flash, and so that makes him super powerful.
I don't. It's bizarre. Like, it's just bizarre that also, like, it's not necessarily that, like, he is okay. Yeah, it's kind of just attached to the fact that, like, somehow the Flash is so powerful within that. It's like, why is the Flash as powerful as he is in that universe? That part doesn't make
I don't know. We're talking about a universe where, like, Superman is just as powerful as he needs to be for a situation.
Go forward and backward into time. I mean,
like, if you want to talk about the Green Lanterns, and specifically one of the Earth Green Lanterns being some sort of ultimate force, like, that's more believable than Flash is able to just time travel.
Well, remember, Flash has the Speed Force, which is like a force,
I know.
a universal force.
I understand he has the speed. Like, I'm not going to say that the Speed Force makes sense or is good as a concept. In fact, I'm going to actively say that it is super dumb as a concept.
You are mean. I did not know you could be mean about other things.
Look, go ahead.
Repeat to yourself, it's just a comic. I should really just relax.
Look, I get that it's just I have watched enough DC related stuff, but we have to at least acknowledge DC is really stupid sometimes.
Yes, DC is really stupid. I won't argue with you there.
Superman went from being able to just leap really high because, the gravity on
But also,
Krypton is different.
But also, DC
Being able to
takes some of
fly,
its
but-
really stupid stuff incredibly seriously.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
to
and
the point where he
that-
could just stay hovering.
God, can you
Physics don't
imagine?
make any sense. But hey, Sonic's physics don't make any sense. Tails can fly using his tails as a helicopter blade, which
Sonic breathes in
aerodynamically is
space.
impossible.
Yeah, but Sonic's at least having fun with it. Like, like.
I
don't
do
know.
agree with you that DC is best when it's not taking itself too seriously.
Or conversely, I want the exact opposite.
You gotta
And I
remember,
want
when DC did not take itself too seriously in the 50s and 60s, Superman can have whatever power that the writers thought up with.
no. There has to be a middle ground, sir.
There is.
Yeah,
I think we're
that's how
seeing that.
no, I'm saying that's how
in-
ridiculous Superman's powers were back then.
mean,
The writers just came up with some bullshit, and suddenly he had that power.
I mean, the middle ground is the animated versions from the 90s and 2000s, and those are amazing.
And my adventures with Superman.
Yeah. There's good DC stuff. It's just he's called Reverse Flash, and
It's also really good. Superman and Lois. But anyway, go on.
I believe that. No, I need to watch the new Superman film probably.
That too. That was also very good.
Yeah,
But,
I get what you mean about the name. It should have been like Anti-Flash or whatever.
No, it should be
No,
Reverse.
just
An
don't have it like
Like,
if your name is Reverse Flash, you should be like a 4th tier villain. Like
Sonic had his own version of this, Evil Sonic, and when he got good, they called him Scourge. That's like the kind of naming game that we really need for a lot of DC, for a lot of Flash villains.
Yeah, but Scourge is also real stupid. Like,
yeah, but he's like a fun kind of stupid.
He's a fun kind of stupid, but also he's the kind of stupid where he's a big loser. Like, don't try to convince me that Reverse Flash is somehow a major villain.
I'm sorry, but he is.
I understand that, and it's making me
in the
mad.
Flash comics.
I
He's
understand that, and it's
greatest
making me upset.
He lives
In
his
any
life
case,
just to
We should
torment
wrap this up.
Barry Allen.
I do not like the DC organization trying to make me think that I need to take this character seriously. That is my concern.
Well, eventually Flash is going to get a good movie, and you'll probably have to.
You know what? You know what though? If it's from James Gunn, maybe I have to take him as seriously as I need to, as I think I should.
In any case, I think it's time we wrap this up. So, we'll be back in a few weeks. Be sure to continue to check out Sonic Stadium for news and articles.
Hey,
I'm hoping to have some time for a few features. And GX, I know you have some stream stuff to talk about.
Yeah, hey, once again, as always, our opinions are our own, but the show broadly is under the banner of Sonic Stadium over at sonicstadium.org. We're one of the internet's longest-running Sonic fan communities. We have many things, news included. We will soon be having a major platform upgrade that Dread has been working for a very long time on putting together. So get excited for just, changes around the site, reorganizations, shifting that kind of stuff. Obviously, hey, we understand it comes with some growing pains. We ask you to, have a little patience with what we're trying to do here. Part of it is things that we can't help. Part of it is us trying to mitigate some of the things that we can't help. Because we are, reliant on the actual platform that the site runs on and the changes that affect that. Otherwise, it's something to be excited about. There's going to be some new features that are going to be cool and interesting. Over on Twitch, I'm still in the middle of a Planet Freedom run through. Freedom Planet. I said the wrong one. I said the one I was trying not to say in my head. That will be coming back next Wednesday. And Sega Sonic Radio will be on Friday. I need to figure out what I'm doing for that episode. I'm hoping that I don't have to cancel, but I don't know. I've been super busy. I've been super busy, and I haven't had a chance to do things.
So, Shiggs, you have anything to say?
Yeah, I'm missing Comic-Con this year, sadly. It'll be my first time not being at Comic-Con in 32 years. My brother caught some virus, infected his legs. He's had to be off of his feet for 2 weeks. Now he's needing help. He's walking, he's doing everything, but he gets tired really quick, and I need to help him with his leg wraps and everything while our sister-in-law gets to Comic-Con to sell at the booth down there. But I should be going to PAX West for the first time. I'm using the money from Comic-Con to go to PAX West, which I'll be spending a lot less because there's not really much to buy there in comparison. So I'm really hoping to go there and have fun, check stuff out.
You should go there and cosplay as Reverse Shiggs. What is Reverse Shiggs' outfit?
Oh no, it's Reverse Sonic.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
I should cosplay as a reverse version of myself.
What's the opposite of blue? Red?
It's Sonic, but all of his organs are on the outside.
That's Dark GX.
Bye, everyone.
In any case, see ya.
See you next time.